Alright, so hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be looking about what the N stands for in refined and basically how it's calculated, what's a good net margin, what's a bad net margin, and what it means and what the value actually stands for. So the N in refined stands for net margin, which is calculated as the net income over the total revenue. And basically what it means is that a thin net margin would tell us that a business has very low pricing power, meaning that they have a lot of inflation risk because they're unable to raise prices, or the expenses are very high in the business because of, once again, the way it's calculated is total profit over total revenue. And because of this, if they have to spend a lot in order to keep their profits, that would lead to a very low net margin, which is once again not a very strong business. And one misstep or one fallback or any sudden rise of a competitor might lead to like very big losses for the industry because they're spending so much to maintain their profits. So a net margin that would be considered very good would be a net margin of 20% or over, and a pretty solid net margin would be over 10% as well. So once again, this is an example about how the net margin would be calculated. So you take the net income, so once again back to like a McDonald's example, or net income of $20, and the total revenue of $30, here you get a net margin of 66%. So this is once again just an example. So relatively, you would very rarely see a company with a 66% net margin, but just an example to show how the net margin is calculated and basically how the profit's calculated over revenue. So once again, another example. So let's say company A has $100 of revenue and made $20 of profit. Company B has $500 of revenue, 20 profit. Company C has $1,000 of revenue and $30 profit, and company D has $20 of revenue and $10 of profit. So net profit margin, which we want greater than 10%, it's exceptional if it's over 20, was basically if all companies had the same amount of money, which company would make the most. So we can see company A has a net margin of 20%, company B has a net margin of 4%, company C has a net margin of 3%, and company D has a net margin of 50%. So we can see company B has to spend the least in order to maintain its profits. So in terms of this, it would have the strongest net margin. So that's essentially just an overview about what net margin is, how it's calculated, and what it stands for. Thank you.